If you've been on a date and it felt like work, like you're having to carry the conversation, or you're having to plan the date, or you're having to figure out what are we doing next. What men want more than anything else is to provide, protect, and please the women that they care about. He's going to walk away entirely because he doesn't feel that there is space and a place in your life for him. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Love Chat with the Love Twins. I hope that you're doing great. Today, we're going to deep dive into something that we have found is keeping a lot of brilliant, beautiful, powerful, successful women just like you from having the love that they truly desire. And it's not the abs, and it's not that men don't want commitment. It's none of that, even though it could look like it's that. Here's what I'm going to start with. You do not have to give up your ambition, your drive, or shrink yourself back, or make yourself smaller, or make your vision smaller to create extraordinary love. And this is a very common belief that women have. And in addition to it being a common belief, it's something that will stop women from going after the love that they truly desire. Because that fear of having to pull back in their lives and the careers that they've worked so hard at has them act and show up in different ways that really don't propel you forward, really don't magnify that attraction for the right kind of man. Hey, Teresa, nice to see you. All right, ladies, if you're here, go ahead and shoot me a hi so that I know that you're here. So you don't have to give up your ambition, your drive. You don't have to shrink back, any of that. Here's what you do need. You need to understand that the energy that attracts a deep connection with a high quality man, with a man who's really going to be able to be there for you, and a man who can see you and experience you fully, who you can be yourself with, that energy that attracts that kind of man, as high achievers and highly driven women, we often unintentionally, and a lot of times not even consciously, block that love from coming in. So love is energetic. Love is an energy. And if you are acting in ways that actually push love back and create an energy that repels love, then how valuable is it to know how do you move through that and into an energy that actually attracts love? So let me ask you this. Have you ever felt like your success intimidates men? Maybe you've dated men that have said that, or you felt it. Maybe they haven't said it, but you felt it. Or you felt like you have to settle or water down your vision or water down your success to have the love that you want. And this is an opportunity to be honest. So if you feel like you've intimidated men in the past, or men have been intimidated by you, you can write intimidation in the chat. And if you felt like you're going to have to settle for something less than what you really want because of your success, or because you're very driven, or because of your ambition, write the word settle in the chat. And that way I can have a sense of who's here and what you've experienced. So I can make this love chat really valuable for you, which is the whole intention of this love chat. Because again, this is unintentional. It's not something that you're doing on purpose. Thank you, Keiko. Keiko says settle. So that's one of the things that have come up for Keiko. There are two different energies that I want to talk about today. And these two energies, every single human being encompasses these energies. One of them is masculine and the other one is feminine. Men carry both, women carry both. Now, let me just help you understand why this is important. Masculine energy is the energy that we carry that's about drive. It's about focus. It's about results, making things happen. And that's a very valuable energy to have. Feminine energy is an energy about presence, receiving, allowing, flowing, things flowing with ease. Also very valuable. So neither one of these energies is right, and neither one is wrong. Neither one is good or bad. They're both valuable. And they each have a purpose for all of us, both men and women alike. The problem comes in when, as a woman, you mostly or only know how to operate from masculine energy. And that doesn't mean that you don't know how to do your hair and your nails and your makeup. I'm talking about the energy that you're operating in? Are you in an energy that's feminine, that's receptive, that allows things to happen, that flows, that has a feminine presence? Or are you more in that do, go, go, go energy, results, let's make it happen energy that's masculine? So that's when it becomes a problem, when you only know how to operate in your masculine, or you mostly operate in your masculine and you have little or no knowledge of how do I bring out and how do I operate inside of my feminine energy. So just to be clear, that masculine energy, that go get 'em, that drive, let's make something happen energy, has made you wildly successful. It's helped you build your career, it's helped you build your business, it's helped build financial security, it's helped you get to where you are today. But the truth is that that same energy that works really well in building success in business and careers is the exact opposite energy that's needed to create real intimacy, true connection, to have two people be able to actually be together, to have a man be able to look in your direction, actually see who you are and get a sense of who you really are outside of that persona that comes up when you're in that masculine energy. So when you try to bring that same masculine energy into dating and relationships, that let's make it happen, let's get things done energy into your dating life or into your relationship, what happens, and this is very important to get, when you bring that masculine energy in, that doing energy to create a result, you're no longer available to receive, because the focus is on doing, not in receiving. So receiving what? Receiving love, receiving support, receiving gifts, compliments, which is that feminine energy. So when you're in your masculine, you are in control mode. Now, one of the biggest repellents in intimacy is control. Nobody likes to be controlled. Children don't like it. Adults certainly don't like it. And masculine men really don't like it, any more than you like it as a feminine woman. Here's why this matters. Receiving and allowing, those two things, both receiving and allowing, they create openness. And it magnifies your feminine qualities. So it's absolutely necessary. That masculine energy is about doing. The feminine energy is more about being and receiving. That's what presence means. So in love, attraction happens in that polarity between the two. So if you're always doing and you're always leading and you're always driving, then you are unintentionally pushing a man into one of the two roles. What's the role? Either he steps back and he becomes passive, which is going to frustrate you because now you feel like you're carrying everything on your own. You're having to do everything on your own. Or he's going to walk away entirely because he doesn't feel that there is space and a place in your life for him. That doesn't mean that he's not a strong man. That actually means that he's a man who knows what he wants. And if what men want more than anything else is to provide, protect, and please the women that they care about, the women that they love, and there's no space for that, then he's going to walk away because he has no purpose there. And it's very important for men to feel purpose. What are you all hearing so far? I see a lot of you have come on in. Thank you for joining us. What are you hearing? What energy do you see that you operate more in? Your masculine energy, that doing energy, or the more feminine receptive energy? And just tell the truth. We're not here to judge anything. We're here to bring something that's in a blind spot forward so that it doesn't keep negatively impacting your life the way that it has until now. So you operate in masculine, you're going to start to feel frustrated. You're carrying the whole thing. You're going to be exhausted. You're going to burn out, which is a common complaint that we hear from a lot of women, not just single women or single mothers, but women in general, because you're carrying all of that. And some of us, if we tell the truth, if you tell yourself the truth, some of you use the masculine energy more, one, because you're used to it, two, because you create success in this area of business or career, and three, some of you are getting your own purpose and validation from how much you do. This used to be a big one for me. I used to be my sense of accomplishment, even my sense of purpose and validation came from how much I did. And if you looked at my calendar, some people still look at my calendar like, I don't know how you do it. But if you looked at my calendar, let's say 7 years ago, when I was still in the corporate world, it was crazy. And I was going, waking up at 7 in the morning, and I was going to bed at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and getting up at 7 in the morning to do it all over again. And although at first it seemed like, wow, I can get so much done. This is so great. People are like, wow, you're sending emails at 1 in the morning. And I got that little hit of adrenaline, that little hit of some kind of acknowledgement of my hard work. That didn't last very long. I ended up resenting it. I ended up resenting having to do everything in my personal life by myself too. And I really did burn out. So what starts off as something, and some of us never come out of that. So let me see what you all are saying. You're saying, Rhonda says there's a balance there between the two for her. Definitely. Joy says definitely masculine energy. Helene says masculine. Keiko says receiving and allowing. Oh, that's what you're getting. Receiving and allowing is feminine energy. All right. So Keiko, which one do you operate the most in if you look at your life and you look at the way that you show up in dating and in relationships? And then Valley says definitely masculine. So they step back. Yeah, because they'll take a step back. So let's keep digging deeper into now more of the feminine energy. So when you're in your feminine energy, instead of always doing and being exhausted and burnt out, you're in a more relaxed energy. When you're in that feminine energy, you can enjoy the process of just being with someone. You're not being with them, going into what else you need to do to get them to call you, right? So when you're in your feminine, you're enjoying that process of getting to know someone, rather than being in your masculine, where it looks like you end up interviewing the man, like he's applying for a job in your life, whether you're dating him or you've already hired him and now you're trying to get your man to the next level in your relationship, and that's not what he signed up for. When you're masculine, you're asking questions not out of curiosity, but it's more about evaluation and judgment. And ladies, how many of you, if you're honest, have been on a date where it felt like work? If you've been on a date and it felt like work, like you're having to carry the conversation, or you're having to plan the date, or you're having to figure out, well, now we finished dinner, what are we doing next? And it feels like you're working for it. Go ahead and type work in the chat, because that's not the experience that there is to have in dating. It is much more receiving, it's enjoying, the conversation is flowing. So when it feels like work, yeah, it feels like work for some of you. So it could be exhausting. It starts to feel, and I've heard this from clients before they learn how to date the way that we teach them to date in our programs, or they're still not using the dating fundamentals that we teach in our program. It starts to feel like dating is another task on your calendar. Even in relationships, it feels like date night is something else you have to do to keep the relationship going. That's not connection. That sounds more like a business meeting. That sounds more like an agenda. So it doesn't really create connection. So another pattern that I see very frequently is, instead of letting yourself be surprised or delighted or, wooed and courted by a man, you start managing the timeline. It's like you're checking boxes. Does he have this degree, this career, this lifestyle, this car? And, why isn't he calling me? It's been X number of days since he texted. All of this, and you're managing timelines. It's about like criteria versus connection. I see this a lot too. You're already predicting the future based on the first 10 minutes. Oh, this probably isn't going to work because he said X, or because he doesn't like Y. Criteria versus connection. Very masculine energy in there. So when you're in this mindset, you're not present. You're not fully here. You're here. You're not in your body. You're not in your heart. You're in your head in analysis mode. And that energy is not magnetic. It's repelling. And why we're having this love chat today about this is so you start to bring awareness to it when you're in that energy, because it is repelling, and it's mostly repelling for men who do want to be leaders and do want to step up. And it's repelling because what a high quality man is really looking for is not a woman who has it all figured out. He's not looking for that kind of woman. He's looking for someone that is real, someone that feels, someone that allows him to take the lead. He wants to be able to feel your happiness. He wants to experience your curiosity. And he also wants to experience your openness. So that's what's going to make a man want to draw closer to you. Not that you've got all the answers and you've got everything figured out, but that you can feel happiness and joy and curiosity and be surprised and be open to the unknown and allow things to, play out in an organic way versus in an agendaed way. That's going to make him want to be closer. That's what makes him feel like he can actually be with you. Like if he actually did something, he could create a win with you. Not win one over on you, but win with you. And that's really important for guys. So if he feels the judgment and the evaluation, then if he's a smart guy and he's a high quality guy, most likely he won't ask for the second date. Or if you're already in a relationship, he'll start to pull away. So the shift here is huge. The shift is moving from control to connection. From having this, what we call the 72-point quality assurance checklist, to curiosity. From trying to predict and manage outcomes to allowing yourself to experience the moment and what the moment brings. So how many of you can see that you've been treating your dating experience or your relationships like a project or a checklist? If that's the case, just type list in the chat. The reason I ask you to do that is so that we can go back and see how many of you are responding one way or another. So thank you so much to those of you who are engaging, because it makes a difference for us, and then we know what else we can go deeper into in another love chat too. So when you're so used to being in control, and for those of us who've been single for a while, maybe we're single mothers or we're just single, we're used to having to control every aspect of, when things get done, because we've got busy lives and we've got our careers and we've got our social life. And so you're trying to control a lot of things at the same time. So when you're trying to control your business and your finances, your career, your social life, that is going to get you ahead. But when it comes to love, that same control, remember this, is going to create distance and disinterest. It's a turnoff, total turnoff, because it makes that man feel like there's no room for me here. Or he's going to feel like he's being tested or schooled. And when a man feels that way, like there's no room, she's not accepting my support, I can't really provide anything here, or I feel like I'm being questioned like 20 questions or taught what to do, that's when dating and relationships start to feel hard for you and for him. Either the high quality man will back off, or you'll attract men who don't want to step up. In that masculine energy, high quality men will back off, or the ones that are coming forward, the ones that you're attracting, are the ones that are attracted to someone who's going to take the lead, someone who's going to be the one to handle everything, manage everything, including her own emotions, including her own issues and his. So if you're tired of attracting that kind of guy, then you've got to switch and shift more into your feminine. So think of it this way. If you're already like driving the car and you're making the plans and you're solving all the problems, where's the space where he actually gets to show up for you if you're already doing all that? It occurs like there's no need or place for him. And so he'll go where he feels like he can make a difference, where he feels like there's a space. And notice how that has nothing to do with your ambition. It's everything to do with your energy. So if you've ever felt like that, which some of you already put in the chat, exhausted because you realize you're carrying the whole relationship. I know I've been in relationships like that, and I didn't realize that this is where it was coming from. When I was married the first time, I was working 3 jobs because the person I was married to at the time was in and out of work. But I knew I wasn't going to let like my kids not have what they needed, and I wasn't going to go without eating. I knew that, and I knew how to figure it out. Well, every time I figured it out, it was one less reason he had to figure it out, or one less situation. And it went on like that for the entire time we were married, all 12 and a half years. And it wasn't until I started doing my own heart work and I started recognizing this is a dysfunctional pattern. Doing everything, first of all, is coming from fear. And that's what generates the need to control. And second of all, I actually remember going out on a date with someone and I was telling him all these things that I was doing and my kids and this and that. And he was like, wow, I'm exhausted just hearing all of that. And I'm wondering, where do I fit in? He actually said that. And that's how I used to talk on a first date. All the things we teach you not to do now in our programs. So if you've ever felt that exhaustion of having to carry the whole relationship, you're the one making all the effort, you're the one making all the plans, you're the one initiating everything, and it's felt one-sided, this is why. You're operating in your masculine energy. And a real man, listen to this, a real man needs space to step up. He just needs space. He doesn't need you to shrink. He just needs you to take a step back so he could step up and support you, handle it, whatever that is. So in case you're wondering, and that's why I just said it doesn't mean you have to shrink back. This doesn't mean that you have to give up your ambition at all. In fact, what we have found with our own husbands and with the women who we've had the honor of coaching into beautiful, healthy, happy relationships and marriage that last years and years, is that the right man isn't going to have a problem with your ambition. He's actually going to celebrate it. He's not going to be intimidated by it. But to attract that kind of a man, you've got to combine your ambition with vulnerability. Think of it like a math formula. Ambition plus vulnerability equals availability. Ambition plus vulnerability equals availability. You've got to be available to receive what you say that you want. And vulnerability is not about weakness. It's not about crying about everything. It's not sharing every single aspect of your life with someone that you just met. Vulnerability is about allowing yourself to be seen and to be known. It's about allowing someone to contribute to you. That's being vulnerable. It's about showing, your heart instead of leaning so much on your resume. And I think of it this way. It's saying, yes, I can do it all, but I don't want to. And I don't want to do it alone. I can do it, but I don't want to do it all. And I don't want to do it alone. So if you've been telling yourself, I don't have time for dating or relationships, or men can't handle me, or maybe, relationships are just not meant for me because I'm too ambitious, I'm too driven. Those are all limiting beliefs. And they're just simply not true. And those very limiting beliefs that have you believing on that create the wall that's blocking you from the very relationship, that experience of love that you say you want. So let me ask you this. What is the belief? Now that you've been here and you've heard this love chat and you've been participating in it and you're letting it into your heart, what's the belief you've been holding on to that has been keeping you behind that wall? It's keeping you single, or it's keeping you out of experiencing the kind of relationship you want with your boyfriend or your husband. Helene, that's not what you were telling me in the message you were. I want you to go a little deeper. And I want you to know, ladies, that there's nothing wrong with any of this. Here's the thing. If you have a piece of glass in your foot, isn't it valuable to know you have a piece of glass in your foot so you can take it out and the pain stops? That's exactly what we're doing here. So a lot of times women will say, oh, but I am being I do allow men to do things for me. I am open. I'm an open book. Okay, then why isn't it working? Why aren't you attracting high quality men? Why is it that you end up in the friend zone so much? Why? There's got to be something that you may not be aware of that's operating in the background, and beliefs carry a lot of energy. And if that belief carries fear, and I just said, fear produces the need to control, and control is masculine, there you go. Something's just been revealed to you. All right, so here's some beliefs. Men just want sex. So if you have a belief that men just want sex and you want to attract a high quality man, those are two opposing energies. So then what happens is you may, squish down your own sexual desires or your own sensuality to avoid and control him wanting to have sex with you. And then you see them, really, if you tell yourself the truth, they become the enemy inside of that conversation. So there's work to do about transforming that belief so that it no longer keeps blocking, creating that wall and blocking a high quality man who wants to know you and cannot see you behind the wall of protection that comes up inside of that belief. So thank you for your honesty there, Joyce. I'm not allowing space for a man based on the past. So what's the belief though, Terry, what's the belief that's coming from the past that has you not allow space for a man to show up? And I think that's very powerful. And you're in one of our programs working through that. When you have beliefs that are so strong, the more emotional you are about it, the stronger that belief becomes. But here's what happens. The stronger the emotion is, the more you think it's true when it's not. The more you play it in your head, the more ingrained it becomes. And then you think and see and feel and act as if that is the only possible truth. And you have to protect yourself from that truth. And so it's very counterintuitive to attracting a high quality man. So thank you for that. Does female masculinity affect a man's emotional intelligence? No, they're two different things. So we could go into a whole thing. We have a whole course on expanding and magnifying your emotional intelligence. But someone who's emotionally intelligent doesn't mean they never get upset, they never make a mistake, but it does mean that they understand that certain people behave in certain ways. And if your masculine energy is something that he's not wanting to experience, he might push back or walk away altogether. I've seen this a lot when in couples that we coach, either Gladys or Arnie and I coach couples. And what we see is that a lot of times when the man is emotionally shut down, it's not that he doesn't have emotional intelligence. I mean, obviously more emotional intelligence would have him be able to express what he's feeling and why he's feeling like he has to push away and out. But it's many times what happens is men shut down because when a woman is operating in her masculine and there is no purpose or space for him, or he feels like every time he makes a contribution, he's shut down, or it's not taken in or even considered. You don't have to do everything your boyfriend or partner, the guy you're dating, suggests, but at least you can listen. That's part of the allowing someone to have a different point of view. But if everything is pushback, then if everything is pushback on your side, then he's gonna be pushed back. And because people in general don't like to feel like they're not being successful, and for a man it's so important to successfully support the woman he loves, then it could look like he is shut down, and it could be that his shutdown is his protective mechanism. So that might be what's going on there. That I have to have my life more together to attract the man that has his life together. Well, that's a belief that's going to have you really go for more doing, which is more masculine, and perfectionism, which really just doesn't exist. So then when my life is perfect then means never. So my life was pretty, I mean, from a business perspective, if you looked at me, I had all the, I had a lot of success in my business, but my finances were a mess when I started doing this work. My emotional intelligence was not anywhere near where it is right now. My communication skills I thought were great, and they weren't. And my mindset was very win lose, good bad, victim kind of thinking. I was very defensive. So I was able, and this is why those of you who I'm seeing are here in the program, like Elaine, you're in the program, you get to use the tools that you get in the program to heal and replace anything that isn't working for you. And even if your life isn't all together, I promise you, there's an energy that you can radiate when you know that that has nothing to do with your worth and your value, that's going to have a high quality man be interested in you. We all go through hard times. But seriously, my life looked not great. And I was in the most debt I've ever been in when I attracted Arnie. It wasn't about that. It was about me and how I was showing up, especially the more I did my heart work, the work that we do in our programs, the more I did that, the more of me actually showed up, not the me I thought I had to be, or the me that I wanted you to see, and hiding the me I didn't want you to see. It was all of me. And there's more that I get to uncover. So it's not about perfection. So that's a great limiting belief to do some heart work on. I don't trust that they'll take care of me. Well, if you don't trust that they're going to take care of you, first of all, what does that mean? Because there's something else underneath that. Like, I would never advise anybody to get into a relationship, and I'm not saying that you're saying this, Terry, to take care of me financially, because that already has me come in a dependent energy. And then I'm going to put up with stuff that I would, in my right mind, would not tolerate for the other stuff I can have. But that could be that you don't trust us to take care of you emotionally. Well, then again, yeah, you're going to protect yourself if you think you're going to be hurt. Where is that coming from? It's coming from your past. So you got to look at that or those instances from the past that you're still carrying around, going back to last week's love chat, and it's still impacting who you're being today, so that you are free from the past and you can make a choice based on who's really in front of you and what you're really experiencing, and not what you can only experience behind that wall. All right. So thank you, ladies, for being so honest and sharing that. Those are the beliefs that are holding you back. Now, we're uncovering things tonight. And 3 specific things that we've uncovered in this love chat tonight is: 1, the difference between masculine and feminine energy and why they matter in love. We've also uncovered that the go trap, right? The go trap that makes love feel hard when it doesn't have to be. And then you're also learned that ambition plus vulnerability equals availability. And when you're available, you can attract a man who is available to you, available for you, available to love you and be loved by you. Now, imagine for just a moment, just imagine what it would feel like to be with a man who celebrates you. He celebrates your success. He adores your heart. He loves your little quirks. He stands side by side with you in the great times, in the not so great times, so you don't have to carry it all by yourself anymore. Just imagine that and what that would be like. Go ahead and type in the chat. What would that be like for you? You're celebrated, you're adored, you're seen. They're standing right by you. You're not carrying it all alone. What would that be like for you? Now, if you've never experienced that, or it's been a long time since you experienced that, just know that the subconscious mind is going to want to push this conversation away, and you won't type anything in the chat. But I am inviting you to rise above that little voice in your head that tells you that it can't be easy or it can't be that easy. It can. When you have the right skills and the right support, it can be that easy. So let's see, that would be amazing, peaceful and calm. It would feel like a dream. It would feel miraculous. So I want you to know that it's not a fantasy. That kind of love is not a fantasy. And I'm going to say what I'm going to say, not to rub it in anyone's face, but I have that every single day. It's not to rub it in your face, it's to put up a mirror and say, you too, you can have it too. Because that's what happens. That kind of love is available when you shift out of the masculine into the feminine, when you shift outside of those limiting beliefs, when you shift outside of the dysfunctional patterns that have kept repeating themselves as a way of protecting, as a way of controlling, and they just don't work. So if you're sitting here tonight and you're saying to yourself, that's exactly what I've been missing, that's what I've been wanting, and I'm ready for it, then it's time for us to talk. So this message right now is specifically for those of you who have never had a call with us before, because if you've talked to us before, you're in our programs, you know how to get in touch with us. But if you've never had a call with us before, I'm going to invite you to book your call today. And on this call, you're going to be with a coach where you can map out specifically what's been blocking you and what it's going to take to break through that wall. You're going to discover how you can create that extraordinary relationship that you've been waiting for. And if you're truly ready to take your love life to another level, this call is for you. You're not going to wait another moment. This is your time and you're declaring it. All right, so you click on that link and you book your call and you're going to get set up with a coach. Pick the date and time that works best for you. For whatever reason, there's not a date and time that works for you. Just click on contact us and let us know what days and time work for you. And we're going to see what it is that we can do. You can also reach out to me privately in my DM and I'll get in touch with you. Again, people who have not had a call before, those of you who have, you know how to get in touch with us. This is where you can, like I said, you draw the line in the sand. You say, I'm not going to keep operating the way I have. I'm not going to allow my fears and my limiting beliefs and my dysfunctional patterns to keep bringing out this masculine energy, to keep bringing out this controlling energy that is having great men push away. I'm going to create a feminine energy inside of my healed heart and my renewed spirit that attracts the right man to me so that I can feel that miraculous, liberating, amazing love that I want to experience. So go ahead and click that link and schedule your call. All right. Now, that's it for tonight's love chat. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you for participating, for opening your hearts. We're going to be back here next Tuesday for Love Chat with the Love Twins at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Thank you once again. And until our hearts meet again, always remember that you are loved. Goodbye for now. Bye.